Hey y'all, it's your boy Dagger. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, be sure to like and subscribe. Ring your notification bell so you know the next time I go live. Make sure you set all notifications to all so you know the next time I go live. Like, comment, subscribe. Share with someone who likes Magic of the Gatherings. Yes, we are here to talk about Magic of the Gatherings. Important stuff. Complex stuff too. Just gotta do one thing real quick. Okay. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. This is so annoying. Why aren't you giving me the... Nope. Wow. Anyways, that took longer than needed. Okay. Just gotta do a mic check one time. Make sure that we're not too loud, because I know my last video was kind of loud. Man, I'm just a loud person sometimes. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Alright, I think we're good now. Okie dokie. So, new Magic deck, Sorta. That's what we're doing today. So, I'm sorry, guys. I just remembered something. Boop. Boop. I'm sorry, guys. Right there. Alright, so, today, we are getting into my main playstyle of Magic the Gathering. The Gathering of Magic, one might say. So, you see all these wonderful decks here. Wonderful decks. Just beautiful. Just no mistakes. Only happy accidents here. But there are none of that either. Because I don't want to say they're perfect, but I don't know. They just... If you're a lazy person, you'll appreciate these decks. But anyways, so I had thought of a deck one day. I said, you know what would be funny and kind of cool if I didn't have to play Magic with hardly any non-land permanents. That'd be pretty dope. Be pretty dope. So, first ever deck that I made. Da-da-da! Survivor Deck 1. Got here the Derevi Imperial Tactician. Is that how you pronounce it? Anyways. So, you might be asking yourself, Dagger, now why would you go out of your way to do the no non-land permanent challenge, excluding the commander? And I say to you, why not? Rules are meant to be broken. Or so I think. I mean, excluding all the extra turn players, for the most part. This deck sits. It does this really cool thing. Since it does nothing. You might say to yourself, well, Dagger, how can you progress your game if you're doing nothing? Well, hold on, let me back it up real quick. Chicka, chicka, chicka. Oh, wait, no, that's Choo-Choo Train. Anyways, so you have all these wonderful ramp pieces right here. Why is Dawn Charm and ramp? It's weird. There's a protection spell. How the hell would you get there? Anyways, so what the goal is, the first like 5 turns of the game, you just play all the ramp cards you can. You just play all the ramp. I mean, Dagger, no shit. Did you just play Magic yesterday or what? No, I understand. But ramping up is always important. So technically, you're not really doing nothing in the beginning of the game unless you specifically took a no-land hand. Which, in a 32 chance of that... Well, actually... Okay, it doesn't include that one. In a 32 chance... it's not terrible. Now, I guess I should have something like a Rampant Growth or the Mana Dork... Or not the Mana Dork. The ramp piece that green has where you can just... Oh, the Tribe Elder. Or Steve, as everyone calls him. I guess it would make more sense to have more 2-cast ramps, but I actually find that this works pretty alright. So, step 1, play a land. Step 2, ramp into more lands, assuming you get 3 mana, which is not totally impossible. I've been screwed many times, but I do have a Flare of Cultivation, which in hindsight is probably not that good in terms of ramping before turn 3. But we do have all these wonderful lands. We got Mirrored Landscape, we got Crows and Verge, we got Blighted Woodland, we got all the great cards. And hell, you know what? If I needed to find a certain land that I don't have, I'd just say, fuck your non-basic land, so I can find my basic land. But it's fair. Except to 2 players, because they just got a free land. But that's neither here nor there. You know what, man? Who cares? I sure don't. So, anyways, after we ramp a little bit, we're just going to sit here with all these wonderful protection cards. And you might say, well, Dagger, a lot of these protection cards say combat damage. How do you get around non-combat damage? Well, let me tell you. I'm glad you asked, by the way. We have counter spells. Not a lot, just enough to say we do. We got go cancel, commit, which can act like it's pretty much a counter spell, just not a true one. But it actually gets around on counter bullshit, so that's good. And then we got counter spell. We got the Tail's End. That's mostly I just use that on commanders. The whole reason why I have Tail's End and Void Slime in here is for the win con of this deck. Now you might be saying to yourself, Dagger, that's great and all that we just sit there and do nothing, but how do we win the game? How do we do the thing in Magic called winning? Well, see this a wonderful mill category we got here. And I'm gonna say, oh, Dagger, this sucks. You don't have Bruvac or Frang Sanity. You know, you suck. Why are you running these with like nothing to like accompany them? Well, that's the point. We don't. You might say, well, then how do we win? Well, because we can protect ourselves all day long for the most part. Sure, we don't have enough counter spells to, keep from, getting burned out necessarily, but odds are I find in the game, if someone's willing to shock the shit out of you, just like to go out of their way to spitefully kill you, well, either they did not like you as a person, or you told them, hey, this is not a normal Derevi deck. Don't do that, please. Because that's what I have to say every time. Because unfortunately, Derevi has just got a bad reputation. Stacks, counter spells. It has Azorius plus green, awesome Bant. Unfortunately, it's not not a really pretty salty commander, one might say. But anyways, you know what? Let's just play a hand. I'm gonna play a hand here in a moment. I'm trying to think. But yes, so we have all these wonderful mill cards. And so the whole point of this deck, with all these wonderful removal cards, or i.e. Soft board wipes, except for 2, 3. We got a Supreme Verdict, just simple destroy, can't be countered, pretty awesome. And we got Play the Game and Farewell. Now the rest of these, however, Hollow Burial, Coastal Breach, Consuming Tide, Devastation Tide. All these cards are to make it to where just when someone tries to get an edge, or if the board gets too full, and you might not have enough fogs to go around, you just hit the reset button. Hit that bitch. Hit that bitch with a D. And, yeah. Now you might be saying, Dagger, why do I get targeted if I play a bunch of board wipes? Normally you would. However, I have found, because I had to test this for myself. I have found, unless you're exiling or destroying all the damn time, these board wipes are kind of more of a nuisance rather than a threat. Now you could also make deals and blah blah blah. But with this, you don't necessarily have to, unless you're getting targeted like crap. Now, you might be saying, Dagger, I see you got a bunch of draw cards here, and that's awesome and all, but how are we gonna keep going? Eventually, we might run out of deck because we just keep drawing all these cards. Well, that's why I turn your attention to that. A good old Gaia's Blessing / Blessed Respite. Really low dollar cards. Look at that. 30 to 99 cents, depending on where you buy. Look at that. 39 to 27 cents. This deck is really not that expensive. I mean, there's a few cards in here, like the mill cards, that are probably worth a pretty penny, but you can honestly make this deck pretty cheaply, actually. Just sub it out with other cards. That's another thing. That's a great thing about these decks. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg just to make one. This was just the first one I made, and I just happened to have, because I was a mill player back in the my modern days. I actually made a pretty decent one. But anyway, we're gonna give a little trial run here. We're gonna mulligan because we don't get a green, because the one red piece we got requires a green. And no greens again. Well, that's kind of bullshit. All right, what do we got next? Yep, that's nope. I say we're gonna play this game. What's behind mulligan number 4? Oh, hells no. No. What is this bullshittery we find ourselves in here? This is what I have to deal with all the damn time. I promise you. This is okay. What's behind mulligan number 7? No. Okay. Well, Okay, all right. It's fine. Deck is perfect if I think about it. 8 tries, 1 try. Who's keeping count? Okay, so a little trial run here for you. So, the main reason why I picked Arabia, I guess I should have said this first, was because He's essentially a expendable blocker who doesn't go up in commander price or the commander tax, which pretty good, and that's one of the reasons why he's hated. And that's why when you sit down with this deck, you have to state he's the only non-land permanent, which removes the shock and awe factor of he's playing a stacks deck. But then you must follow that up with, well, doesn't have much to counter spells either. Because as soon as you say he's the only non-land permanent in the whole deck, everyone's gonna like, what? I get that look all the time. All the time. But anyways, moving on. Alright, so we're going to hit the new turn, starting this game out. Got a nice Crozen Verge. Comes in tapped. We can't do anything, but that's fine. We played it first. We're gold. Now, we're going to do the next turn. Alright, what do we got here? Well, unfortunately, we don't have any Thug cards yet. But it's always nice to keep a fog color, even though blue is the higher color used in this deck. Alright, next turn. Haha! Look at that. We got our first fog card. Let's go. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to say we're gonna get hit. Probably. Gonna yeah, we're gonna crack the Crozen. One of each. Plains and a forest. No islands. Play as tapped. Play as tapped. Okie dokie. Now we don't have any blue, but that's alright. It's alright. We got 2 more ramp cards, or 3 more ramp cards in hand. That's alright. We're good. New turn. Play that for turn. Alright, so smart play here. 1, 2, 3 for a cultivate. Now, when you're playing this deck, well, I built it this way, so if you build it more balanced, I guess you don't have to worry about it. But in this deck, you always want to make sure that your islands are the most lands you have. Move to hand. Alright. So, we had to reveal the island and put one on the play tap with cultivate and pass. Now, it's always a good rule of thumb when you're goldfishing this. Always put if you have a fog card to play and you have the mana to play it, just when in doubt. Worst case scenario. Mandate a piece. Cast this spell only during combat. Your opponents can't cast spells this turn and the combat phase. Kind of broken. Unfortunately, it exiles itself, so we're not going to be able to get it back. But that's fine. It's alright. There's no way, unless they bolt us for lasting, or deal direct damage for lasting giggles, that anything will happen on that turn. It's a higher protect card, or less risk of actually getting damage in, or getting dealt damage. Loss of life, unfortunately, is harder to counter, but that's what we save counter spells for. But anyways, moving on. Gonna hit the new turn button. Play on other island for turn. So, we like to try to keep our islands at least one more than we have of the other 2 basics. I find is a good rule of thumb. So, we are at turn 5. 7 lands, which are pretty good. Pretty good. People might say you're threatening, but it is what it is. And then we are going to cast 1, 2, 3. We're going to kick it for 5. We're going to leave the 2 blue up in case someone wants to counterspell our ramp, which is a possibility. Grow from Ashes has kicker. So, we'll just zoom this in. Search your library for a basic land card. Put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. If the spell is kicked, I will instead search for 2. So, one of them will be an island. These lands come in untapped, by the way. So we search for an island as one of them. And then the other one, we will search for plains. And then, because we don't have any protection spells. Actually, hold on, I take that back. I forgot that was an instant card. But that is fine. We're going to... Well, I mean, I guess you can just pass because you can cast this frantic search whenever at instant speed. So, let's just say we passed, and then someone swung at us because they're dicks. Frantic search. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards on top up to 3 lands. Yep, 3 lands. Okie dokie. So, 1, 2. Well, shit. We did not draw a single fucking draw. Okay. We'll discard the lands. Yeah. Great plays. And then, wow. We'll just untap 1, 2, 3. And then, at instant speed, we'll pull Derby out and do a little blocky. We might take some damage, but it's fine. Oh, whenever you're playing this deck, make sure you always block the commander damage. As long as that's a thing that might happen, always block the commander damage. Second behind that, poison. You block the poison. Third behind that, the biggest thing they got. That's how that works. And then we are just sitting here twiddling our thumbs once more. Until our next turn. We drew a land. Cool. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to spring into action. We are going to search for a basic, and we'll go on to the battlefield tapped. Okie dokie. Alright. When in doubt, search for an island. When in doubt. Alright. Okay. This is wonderful. I tell you what. Alright, so we just put that right down here in the graveyard. But because we need fogs, we need protection, we are going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to cast the mind portion to draw 2. It's an instant speed, so you can do whatever, but for the sake of our protection needs, we're going to do it now. Ha! Huh. Fuck me, I guess. This is what I have to deal with all the time, I swear. Alright, so we are gonna get smacked. How much we gonna get smacked for? Survey says... Oh, 14. Fuck. Well... Huh. Well, yeah. Okie dokie, Batman. 26! Ha! Ah, okay. There it is. Alrighty. Oh. Hi. Gonna use you. That's a fog card for the record. Yeah. Huh. Well, okay. We are going to tap 2. We're going to shuffle 3 of these bad boys back in. You move, shuffle into library. Shuffle into library. Shuffle into library. Okay, dokie. And then I draw a card. Huh. Play a land for turn. Then we're gonna thought scour to have someone mill 2, and I draw a card. Yes! It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're good. We're good. We're good. So we're gonna pass, and then we're gonna angel song because someone's gonna attack us because they're dickheads. They're dickheads. And then you might say, dagger, they might have a counterspell. Whatever shall you do? Ha ha, bitch. Ha ha, counterspell. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I'm in the game. I'm playing Magic the Gathering. Anyways, we're gonna pass because we fogged. We said no. No. New turn. Ha ha! We have done it again, Eureka! Alright. Coastal Breach. 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Yeah, no, 4. Yes. Coastal Breach. Return on island permanents to those hands. Yay! Freedom! And then we're gonna pass. But wait, there's more. Someone's gonna say, well, I'm gonna report my commander. You always counter the commander. You at least try to. You always try to make an effort. They're gonna play their commander, and we're gonna be like, fuck you, Spider-Man. And this spell, this is secretly really good for this deck. Counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it on your graveyard. So, pretty good. You may shuffle up to 4 target cards from your graveyard into your library. Let's go. Alright. Move to shuffle into library. Shuffle into library. Shuffle into library. And draw a counter spell. We're going to do a counter spell. We're going to shuffle that bad boy back in there too. I think this is secretly an underrated card, but that's just me. I mean, I guess I'm the face value for 4 mana for a counter spell that exiles. But the recursion is the main reason why it's in here. And now they're mad at us because we counterspelled a card after wiping. Where's that? Oh, I put it back in. That's right. After wiping the field, soft wiped just back to their hands. Unless they're a token player, then they're butthurt. All right, moving on. Another fucking land. Awesome. Comes intact. Okay. Yeah. Sure. A land. What? Why? Why? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think there's 2 in the graveyard. 14. There's 1 in the graveyard. How? That almost half my... How am I drawing lands? This is so dumb. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. We're vibing. We have 1 turn. If someone doesn't want to be a dick... Okay. Or does want to be a dick. Anyways. So, we're going to pass the turn, and then we're going to say, because someone's going to attack us because they're a dick, we're going to say, don't touch me there. That's my no-no square. For each attacking creature, someone puts on the top or bottom of their library. Yay! And then here's the real kicker. So, that's going to resolve, assuming they don't counterspell. And everything's going to be fine and dandy. It's going to be great. Before we move on to our turn, though, we're going to do one of these shenanigery things here. Bring out the Rebby. If we have to use a blocker, we have to use a blocker. But we're going to bring it into on top the mirrored landscape. Because we're smart. And then, I guess someone attacked us. Oh, no. Anyways, we are going to tap the myriad, and we're going to search for 2 lands. How many we got? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to find 2 planes. Because, motherfucker, why? Why? Angry. Alright. Play it as tapped. Play it as tapped. Okie dokie. Alright, so remember how I said there's gonna be a kicker on our turn? Because, well, usually most people when they get hit by this, they usually put it on the top, because when you put it on the bottom, you're probably not gonna see it ever again unless you, like, ramp and, like, have to shuffle or some shit. But let's just say they put them all on top, because that's what most players do. On our turn, not a draw spell. That's not a draw spell, and it's not a flag either. Okay. That's fine. It's fine. We return all the attacking creatures to his hand. It's fine. It's great. Because this next move is really going to piss them off. Unintentionally. But, since we don't have any other option anyways, we're going to toss his hideous laughter. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Dragon, what does this card do? Each opponent exiles a card from the top of the library until that player has exiled cards with total mana value 20 or more. Now, remember how I said odds are they put a bunch of creatures at the top? That's what most players do when they get hit by this card. Well, now they're all gone. All their hopes and dreams. Now, that was not our plan. However, it's crunch time. We're kind of fucked. Our deck fucked us. Bad. So now they're really pissed at us. Man, this deck is not, okay. Anyways, so we're just sitting here looking pretty. Yeah. Because when we pass, we're going to say, I passed the turn, because I have nothing better to do. And they're going to say, okay, I'm going to attack phase, and I'm saying, in response to that, boop. Nope. Yeah. We're gonna bring Dorian and tap down a problem. Because when he comes in, you may tap or untap target permanent. We're gonna tap that problem down. And they say, okay, well, I'm still gonna hit you. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna block out with the Revy. And you're gonna say, oh, I have trample. I'm like, oh, shit. How much you swinging at me for, pal? No problem. And I still take 1. That's fine. 25. We can do things. We can do things. And then the next player may be like, well, fuck you too, buddy. And I'm like, In response to you moving to combat, tap that shit down. We don't want that here. We don't like that. And I'll block. Yay! Please give me something like a draw card game. Okay, fuck card. Okay, alright, that's fine. No problem. Alright. This deck is riveting, guys. I'll tell you what. Alright, so. We're gonna say we pass. We're doing nothing. We're vibing. It's okay. No problems. And then they go to attack us, and I'm like, no. Why would you do that? I gave them 1 life for each attacking creature. How many is that, dice? 3. Cool. I gained 3. And you might say, well, Dagger, I have a counterspell. And I'm like, you fucking asshole. So do I. Ha-ha. 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 Can't stop me now. And the next player's like, well, fuck you, Dagger. Hold on. I'm going to say, fuck you right back. I'm going to block. And when he comes in, we're going to untap an island. Bop. Next player might say, well, Dagger, fuck you too. Your Tasha's Hate Slap just sucks ass. And I say, you swallow. Bop. Untap a forest. Fight me. And now we have no cards left in our hand. It's not bad. Not bad, you know. Could be better. You know, a draw card, you know. Well, what do I know? I just made the deck, right? Okay. Wow. That, okay. Pass. We're gonna say pass. Because we've done nothing wrong. Honestly, actually, I actually, well, yep, okay, yeah, but Tasha's just still, yeah, pretty bad. Pretty bad. Alright, someone's gonna swing at me because they're a dickhead. I'm gonna say, guys, I have no cards in hand, or did I? How much life am I gaining? 6. Cool. Alright. We're doing okay. We're only drawing 1 card, but it's fine. Fine. It's great. No worries. Then we're going to go to our next turn because people were nice to us because we have no cards. We're just sitting here. So we're going to play for Miracle Cost, which means we can pay it because we got it on sale. Miracle Cost means may cast this card for Miracle Cost when you draw, if the first card you drew this turn, which I feel like there should be a better way to decipher whether or not that person drew that card that turn because, like, cheaters. But I had no other cards in hand, so there's no other option. So, for Miracle Cost, we're going to say, return on Island permanents to the owner's hands. Yay! Dagger, we're safe. Yeah. We're safe. It's cool. No biggie. We're here. We're here. Maybe a little queer, but, you know, whatever. And then that should, you know, usually that keeps me safe for a turn. You might say, well, Dagger's got a creature with haste. But I didn't do anything wrong. Sort of. Anyways. Hey! It's another board wipe. Would you look at that? So, we're going to pass the turn, and then when someone goes to attack us because they're dickheads, evacuation. Return all creatures to their owner's hands. Yay! We're saved! Yeah! Blue coming in clutch. Let's go. Alright. And that returned all other creatures to their owner's hands as well. So, we're chilling. We're fine. We're good. There's only happy accidents. Only happy accidents, as Bob Ross would say. Alright, here we go. And it's a land card. You like to see this? Not really. Okay. Play the land. Whew. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. We all play lands, right? You know, we all play lands. How much damage am I taking? Roughly. 7. Why? Why? Hey, 69. Why do people hate me? You might ask. Well, Dagger, your life total is pretty high. Well, that's the whole point of a survivor deck, isn't it? It would be kind of pointless to call a survivor deck if you couldn't gain life! And they just checked me again, and I'm sad. Alright, it's fine. I mean, I didn't have to take all the damage. Okay, hold on. Give me 3 more life back. Because I could have blocked it with the Revy. Could have went bop, bop. Oh my gosh. I don't like it when they do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bop. I'm gonna untap planes. Bop. I blocked 3 of it. Yeah, because he's a 2/3 flying. Anyways. New turn. Guys, we're fine, you know? 2 lands in a row? What are the chances? What are the fucking chances on that? Oh, okay. I play a land. Why not? And now, let's just say it came down to me and one person, just to give myself the benefit of the doubt. And then they go back to their turn, and they say, I'm Dagger, going to attack. And I say, when you go to attack, bring the Revy in and tap down your commander. Or, yeah. And then I will block the other big thing or the poison dude. And it's all good. Right? Right? Yeah. Anyways, new turn, please. Okay, alright, we're pretty good. It's only 1v1 player, but that's fine. That's fine. 17 turns. Survivor deck. For drawing 2 fucking lands in a row, we're doing pretty good. We're doing alright, it's fine. People draw lands all the time, right? Anyways, passing. We're gonna pass. It's fine. Fine, great. Going to the other player going to attack me, and I say, tap that thing down. Stop that. I'm gonna block. I'm gonna say, please stop hitting me. And then it's not gonna be good because odds are the board's gonna get bigger because it's been like 4 turns since the last board wipe, so the creatures are getting bigger. Huh. Wait, no, they had a 3rd creature. Oh, no. How big was it? Oh, the 1. Yeah. No problem. Just 1. Okay. Ha! Thank you. Ha! Yes! Ha! Whew! We're gonna pass. No reason. We're gonna pass. On your turn, when you declare attackers, assuming you're not hitting me with the fucking Nimisic combo. Druid's Deliverance. Ha-ha! Fog. You can't touch me there, sir or madam. No, we do not like that. And you're going to say, oh, shucks, Dagger, that was a great play. They never do. And then we're going to pass. Yes! There's only 1 player left. But I can mill him twice. I can't mill all of it. But I can mill a lot of it. It's fine. Alright. We're just gonna bring out the Revy now on our turn. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna play Cut Your Losses Casualty 2. When I cast this, I'm going to sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater. Derevi is just at that 2 number. Boop. There he goes. And then, oh wait, hold on. Yeah, anyway. Then, this wonderful card says, cut your losses. Target player mills half rounded down. But since I copied it, they're going to do it twice. Ha-ha! 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 I did it! Fuck you! He didn't kill him, but that's fine. It's great. It's fine. No problems. No worries. You want to know why? Because when we're going to pass, because we haven't done anything wrong. Mill for half? Who cares? Mill for half twice? Who cares? The game's already... will be the 20th turn in. Ha! Ha! Yes! That's not a land! Alright. That's right. We're good. The mage is working the magic. Alright. Oh, wait. Shit. Sorry. I got ahead of myself. I had 5 mana. One of them was blue. They were going to attack me because they're mad now. And I'm going to say... Aetherize. Return all attacking creatures you own in your hands. Yeah. We did it. We do the thing. And then we're gonna pass to our turn, and then we're gonna say, well, I drew a card, it's not a land, awesome, pass. And then they're gonna be like, okay, now that's annoying, but don't worry, I have more creatures, and I'm like, please don't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hallowed Burial. Put all creatures in the bottom of the owner's libraries. Yes! Yes! Ah! Whoo! We're doing it! Usually by the 25th turn, the last person has died to old age. Old age. Don't disregard the mill cards. Old age. All right, we're doing good. We're doing great. No problem. No worries. It's fine. Woo! Let's go, baby! All right. Here we go. Sorry, we're gonna have myself. We're gonna pass, and then they're going. They probably got a creature out last turn, and now they're gonna swing at us. Ooh! Don't swing at me now. I'm quivering in my boots, Batman. Settle wreckage. Exile attacking creatures target player controls. That player searches his or library free that many basic lands and puts them on the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. Whoo! We survived another one. I would like to draw a card, but the deck is doing good. It's fine. It's great. Next turn. So we just pulled from Eternity, which is one of the key cards for these decks is to pull cards out of exile. There are only 2 good cards that can do it. So you have Rift Sweeper that puts it target face up. So the key word you have to look for these is face up exile card, which is normal exile magic. But Rift Sweeper is a creature that puts it straight back into your library. Pull from Eternity just puts it into your graveyard. But make sure if you're trying to make a deck, make sure it's either green and or white for that reason. And well, I would prefer edge towards white because white has leeches. Green also has this legendary creature, but these cards help with poison counters. There's not many cards that get rid of poison counters. But anyways, moving on. So, since we can pull a card at exile, tap 1, pull from Eternity. We are going to pull our Spring Mind out of our graveyard, or our exile, put it back into our graveyard, and then we can cast it again on the Mind side for the Aftermath portion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I draw 2 cards. Huh. Well, going to play a Blighted Woodland for land for turn. And this other card is a ramp card. That's not what we want. And we didn't want that land either. Son of a bitch. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. To play the Revi. We are ready to go with the Revi. And then we will play Cultivation, because an alternate cost for this ramp card, sacrifice a non-token green creature rather than pay the spell's mana cost. And it essentially acts like a Cultivate or Kadama's Reach, whichever you prefer. So we're going to sack the Revi. And we are going to find a forest would be played tapped, and a plains will be moved to hand. So, not really the best card we could have drawn, but odds are they're running out of gas. It's fine. We can survive another turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cracking the Blighted to find 2 more lands. We're trying to thin out the deck here. Get less lands. Alright. An island. Play tapped. And a forest. Plays tapped. So, we're thinning out the deck. It's great. It's good. No problems. Except for when we pass. And then we're going to take... how much are we going to take? 5? I've had worse. Alright. Like I said, turn 25 is usually when the last person dies. So it's fine. It's fine. Sorry, doesn't die. Well, yeah, they passive old age, not combat. We don't believe in that here. No. So we take 6. We're going down to 23. Alright. Turn 25. We can do this. Woo! Yeah! Haha! Lanes! 1, 2, 3, 4. Supreme Verdict! Destroy all creatures as can be countered. Fuck you, creatures! Haha! I have done it again! And I have no cards left in hand. Okay! I need a draw card, deck! Can you help a brother out? Alright. We have 2 more turns to get to. That's fine. It's great. We didn't take any damage because we wiped. They don't have any haste. It's fine. Haha. So, this far into the game, so Mining Cacophony is another mill halfer. But I think this far in the game, it would be probably more beneficial or probably be the same just to cast it for its normal cost, which is each opponent mills 8. And I'll say that that takes it down to 24th turn. We just have to get through. Yeah, I'd say I pretty much won the game by now. Because even if they have to do 23 damage to me, which is fine. I won the game, but here's the draw card. Careful what you wish for. What would I have drawn? I'm just curious. See the secrets. Draw 2. So we drew a land, which we would have played. It is what it is. But this fucking card right here, Leeches, can we just talk about? It's 4 poison counters, and that's good to have in hand. But 9 times out of 10, it's useless. The one time I needed it, though, I died to poison counters. And then I said, putting that back in. But anyways, that's how the deck is supposed to play. And these are, like I said, the key cards. Hold on, chat. I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom and change my underwear because of all the fucking lands I drew. All right, I'm back, chat. Here we go. So, yes, this is a card package I've called Celestia Longevity. So as long as you're green and white, if you're choosing between the colors to use, are equally as good. Guy's Blessing or cards like Guy's Blessing. So you can use an Eldrazi. So what I say by Guy's Blessing is kind of vital. It kind of makes your deck immune to mill. So if someone changes the target back to you and you don't have this in hand, odds are they're probably going to hit it, depending on how much you mill for. But the text you're looking for says, when Guy's Blessing is put in your graveyard from your library, shuffle your graveyard back into your library. It's a really good reshuffler. Like I said, Eldrazi's are good too, but unfortunately way more threatening, obviously. But Solemnity is on the card that helps stop you not get poison counters. Unfortunately, it's associated with a lot of high dollar combos and a lot of other BS. I would not recommend using it. That and the price has gone really far up. I remember getting it when it was like $2 to $3. Going to the shopping list here. If you aren't using green as like your anti-mill cards, other great cards to use. So you're trying to look for if you don't have access to Guy's Blessing and you're trying to play it a lot more innocent, not using Eldrazi, cards like Learn from the Past in blue. So target player shuffles their graveyard into the library, draw a card. Instant speed, and it's a draw card. I mean, generally, you don't have to worry about necessarily getting milled out necessarily, but it's more so you can potentially get your board wipes, get your fogs back, get your mill cards back, whatever. Black has one too. Exchange your graveyard and your library. It's a little more trickier for it to be effective for you, but it can still work. Psych Spiral is another Learn from the Past, but instead of a draw, it's a reshuffler and a mill card. So shuffle all cards from your graveyard to your library. Target player essentially mills that many. So let's just say you got 15 cards in there. Psych Spiral it. Someone's gonna mill 15. Quest for Ancient Secrets. If you can mill yourself in time, it can be good. But once this gets to... So for whenever cards put in your graveyard from anywhere, put a quest counter on this. Once it gets to 5, you can remove them, sacrifice this, and shuffle your graveyard back into your library. Cards like Reminisce. or Clear the Mind are good. Unfortunately, milling in Magic is kind of like dying to falling. It's not the fall itself that kills you, it's the sudden stop when you draw for turn. So, like, cards at sorcery speed lose, like, you said that are, anti-mill cards, if they're, not instant, you kind of can still lose to mill, so. And if you're playing Golgari colors, essentially this is a better version of Morality Shift. Exchange your hand in graveyard, exile this card. And then green, Predator's Grasp. I'm sure everyone's heard of this card. You pretty much jailbreak your graveyard back to your hand, and you have no maximum hand size. That's like, I don't know. I think that's secretly good. And for a deck that's supposed to get you to high turn games, hitting 8 mana is not really that bad. Assuming your deck was kind to you and gave you lands and ramp along the way, which sometimes does not happen. But other key things I forgot to mention that are kind of vital to a deck like this. Always have a card or a couple of cards that exiles graveyards. Because if you don't, and they have an anti-mill card, you and the player will keep going around in circles until the game, in theory, would never end. And despite how long we do take to win the game, we would still like to win the game. So cards like Tharbin Charm, exile any number of target players' graveyards. It's great because you don't target your own. Because if you target your own, obviously, kind of working against yourself. Soul Guide Lantern's up there as well. Stone Speaker Crystal does the same thing, and you draw a card off of it. Now we're going to go back to deck. Another card, Titania's Command, is great for this deck. Because even if you don't hit a single mill card, ever, odds are by the time you get to turn 15 and above, people are generally going to have huge-ass graveyards. Titania's Command is the best mill accompany or like mill assistant to the mill card, because one of its options, because you choose to. Usually I do the ramp and exile target player's graveyard to gain 1 life for each card exiled this way. So you mill for half. Let's just say for a nice round number, it's like 30. And then you just go 30 life. Like, that has gotten me out of so many situations. Unfortunately, I went from poor man to rich man on the table, and people don't like that, despite the fact that you don't touch people's shit, generally. Outside of, bouncing into their hand, which, it's a soft answer. But people still get offended. I don't know why. I don't have a manifest anymore. I don't have that anymore. So, you can play this style of deck without mill. Unfortunately, the game will go on a lot longer, and despite the fact that, playing a game for 5 hours is kind of funny in an ironic way, or unironic, whichever way you like to put it. Mill really doesn't necessarily win you the game. It just gets you there, or gets your opponent there faster. Now, I've had times where I had to mill myself to hit my own Gaias to get my graveyard back. That's kind of very, very far few in between circumstances. No. So, a good example of not having any mill cards in a deck like this. I'm actually, so this is an altered version of an original deck I made someone else. Their version had a lot more, or a little more creatures in it than this does. But Zakama. So Zakama is a very threatening commander. It's just, it is what it is, because villains reach trample. So when it attacks, it doesn't tap, so it can block, and it can block flying. And when it attacks, like, they can't just chump block with one and say, fuck you. It's no, I have trample, so fuck you. You know what I mean? But, Zakama is kind of like the other win con. A way more threatening win con, obviously. But you can win this game without even casting Zakama one time. Now, I will say Zakama is very helpful with the life gain and getting people's commanders, potentially, with bolting them and then taking out their nice things. He's just a really good toolbox by himself. But getting him to there is kind of a pain, and that's why there's a shit ton of ramp in here. But I believe there's not a single ounce of mill in this deck. This altered version I made. So for these types of decks, your protection category and your removal category should be pretty high. And then you should have a recursion category, like I said before. Try to have ramp. Unfortunately, some colors don't have good ramp unless you're playing green. White's second best, but that's only if someone else pops off first. So, this Denrick deck, which I have disbanded because I have found it felt not as good as Derevi, so why wouldn't I play Derevi? Because, not Bant, only Azorius. But he's one of the commanders that's very good for helping to reduce his commander costs, because that's why I picked Derevi, was because you could essentially play him the whole game and never hard cast him from the command zone one time and still only pay 4. Denrick sort of helps with that, so he can be disturbed from the graveyard, which essentially means you flash him back from the graveyard, but he comes in flipped. But his front side is pretty much a big graveyard denialer, and he can block with lifelink. His disturbed side, however, is a flying blocker, so that's really good for a commander for these types of decks. Always having access to a flying blocker or a reach blocker. Whenever one or more creature cards are put into graveyards from anywhere, investigate. It only triggers once each turn, though, but when you investigate, you get a clue, and a clue, you just tap 2 mana, sack it, and you draw a card. So it's essentially a bad draw engine, despite it being or an okay draw engine, despite being in blue. But unfortunately, unless you bounce them to your hand, which is possible in this deck, because of all, like I said, these decks strive off of not raising a whole lot of attention and bouncing stuff to people's hands rather than destroying it is not as eyebrow raising. Exile is like, people get really pissed off, especially when you come across your slivers, tokens, or just not just slivers, but like any tribal in general. You exile wipe, and they're just sad. Unless they have a Teferi's protection, then it's okay for a turn. But But yeah, there are more exile wipes other than farewell and play the game, but having some hard board or hard answer board wipe in a deck is very vital for these decks. Because if you can't take out the board, you can play fogs all day, but board wipes make you survive, which, survive a little longer. This Preston deck I made for myself, I originally made it with land demo, but land demo, very eyebrow raising, one might say. Very, very irritating to play against, and I took out all but like 2 of the land demo cards. So, another underrated graveyard answer card, I believe, is Burnaway. So, it deals 6 damage to target creature, which potentially gets rid of most commanders, depending on how long they've been on the field. And when that creature dies, exile cards from its controller's graveyard. Which, I mean, yeah, sure, in the grand scheme of things, you could just do 2 separate spells, but the fact that it's compacted onto one spell, an answer card and a, graveyard answer card, I think it's kind of good. And it's, like I said before, you're trying to get to high turns, so having high mana cards, like Invincible Hymn, not as much of a problem. Because if you're trying to optimize, the only really way to optimize for these types of decks is play a collect card like Constant Mist, Teferi's Protection, Everybody Lives. This deck does have mill, but unfortunately, blue's the best mill color ever. Black is there only on a technicality. But if you don't have access to blue, you have to rely on your artifacts. Unfortunately, a lot of these mill artifacts are really expensive. $30, almost $30 for a Mesmeric Orb. Whenever a permanent becomes untapped, they mill a card. So let's just say, late in the game, someone's got like 10 plus mana tapped, and then you, on your turn, just play Mesmeric Orb. And then they're kind of like looking at you with that death glare. That glare that, tribal players give you when they know that they're not going to win the long game because they have to deal with someone else. That's how you play these decks. You don't be an issue normally. You might have to board wipe every now and then. You might have to mill every now and then. Could raise an eyebrow or two. Graveyard decks would love if you milled them. And if you don't have access to blue, I can't stress this enough. Make sure you have cards like Blossoming Calm that protect yourself, like in terms of like can't be targeted or hexproof. Until your next turn, gain 2 life, your rebounds. Another card is Guild Light. Give yourself Shroud. Just make sure you guys have, if you aren't playing with counter spells, make sure you have cards like that. Which essentially means that you have to play with white if you're not playing with blue. Another good card for decks like these is instant speed board wipes. So you don't have to be like, well, I don't know if he's going to attack me, so I can hold it back in case he does. Alright, I've been yapping long enough. I am working on a monocolored Survivor deck, which, if you're going to make a monocolored type version of this deck, white is your best bet. What in the world? That was not the deck I asked for. Prowler is not really a good don't touch me deck. Sorry guys, my computer's being a little slow. Streaming and being online on this architect is alright. But if you guys want to kind of making decks, I have a couple different card packages. Celestial Longevity includes your. Is my stream lagging? Son of a bitch. Anyways, so Celestial Longevity. Celestial Protection. Where's it at? 5-color protection, so cards outside of Bant, because Bant colors are like the best protection spells you can get your hands on. And then I have Bant Protection. But just look for, if you just want to look at my account, see all the decks I have, capital C, capital N, capital D, and then C and Dagger. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Ring the notification bell down below, and make sure you set it to all so you know the next time I go live. If you enjoyed the video, please sure to give it a like. I very much like playing Magic. I don't really care to play online Magic as much because it's a game that should be played IRL, but neither here nor there. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy.